Hey Booktube, Nikki here. Guess who went to Free Comic Book Day? Me. Guess who bought lots of stuff? Me. So today I have a haul of all of the stuff that I bought at Free Comic Book Day and slightly before, but I'll explain that in a bit. But if you don't know what Free Comic Book Day is, allow me to explain. Free Comic Book Day happens on the 1st May. 1st May? Free Comic Book Day happens on the first Saturday in May every year. It's basically a day for everybody to go to their local comic book store and obtain free comics. And if you're like me, spend your money on a ridiculous amount of comics at the outrageous sales. If you missed out on this year's, that's okay. Just make sure that you mark your calendar now for next year. On the first Saturday of May, get yourself to your local comic book store. Right before Free Comic Book Day, we had another big comic book event, which was of course the 1000th issue of Action Comics, which I bought 3 different covers of, but don't have readily available because they're in a short box somewhere. I don't want to go find them. I will show you the deluxe edition of 80 Years of Superman, celebrating Action Comics. This does not have the 1000th issue in it. I think it was Amazon didn't communicate that quite well. Oops. This is an amazing cover. It's like super matte, super buttery. I just wanna... And then Superman is like super glossy. Gonna stop doing that. That's a bit weird. And then once you take the dust jacket off, it's just got stacks of different cool covers featuring the man himself. It smells so good. Free Comic Book Day sadly marked the closing of Secret Identity Comics, which is a comic book store in Brisbane that's been around for about 2 years. They knew in advance that that was going to be their last day, and so they stopped ordering stock and basically marked down everything. So I went ahead and tried to fill some gaps on my shelf from what was available. The first thing I picked up was Scott Pilgrim Gets It Together, which is the 4th book in the Scott Pilgrim series, which I love and find hilarious. But I have, for some strange reason, the first 3, and then I have book 5, and I don't have book 4, so I've never been able to read past the 3rd book. I don't know how this happens. I just have a problem with buying things out of order because they're cheap. But now I have number 4. I can continue my journey with Scott Pilgrim. Oh my gosh, don't fall over. Scotty, come on now. Get it together. Get it. Oh, I'm so funny. I also picked up Orphan Black Deviations. This is by Helly Kennedy and the artist is Wayne Nichols, who's a local comic book artist. He's a really cool guy and I was going to take this to Supernova to get it signed, but I forgot. So I'll have to take it to the next one because he'll no doubt be there. This is based on the Orphan Black series, but basically it asks big what ifs. Like, what if in the first episode this character that died didn't die? Dun dun dun. And then stuff like that. I can't really elaborate more, nor can I read it because I haven't finished the Orphan Black series and I feel like it might be spoilery or confusing. So I'm rewatching that at the moment, but then I'll read this book. I also picked up Faith number 2, California Scheming. I read Faith number 1, truly loved it. Really excited to pick up the second one. This is by Jodie Hauser. And one of the highlights of this series is definitely Marguerite Sauvage's art. It's amazing. I picked up yet another Civil War book, and this is the Captain America Iron Man one, which is by Ed Brubaker. But this is the last one that I wanted to buy. I'm just gonna probably have a week at some point where I just read all of the Civil War books that I have because it's about time, because now I just own so many that it's stupid for me not to have read them. I picked up Paper Girls, which I've been wanting to read forever because it's by Brian K. Vaughan, and I love Brian K. Vaughan. I'm pretty sure Cliff Chiang does the art, and he's pretty cool beans. This has been around for a little while, but a lot of people compare it to Stranger Things. Then I picked up volume 4 of Wonder Woman Godwatch. This is, I think, Greg Rucka's last book that he's on, and I think Nicholas Scott as well hands it over to Mirka Aldolfo, who I love. So I'm pretty excited about that. I actually just reread the 3rd one because I couldn't remember in detail what happened. So I'm keen to catch up on Wonder Woman. So those were all really good deals, but then we come to Free Comic Book Day itself, where of course you get a bunch of free comics, and I got so many cheap comics, it's unbelievable. There are a bunch of single issues that I got for $1, but I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them because that would be a long video. But I will show you all of the free comics that I got really fast. I got 13, which is my new record. Last year I got 9 of the free comics. That's going to 4 comic book stores, but only 3 had free comics. I got the Disney Princess one, probably going to give that to my niece. Pokemon Sun and Moon, I think this was the last store where I was like, I don't know what to get, and it was one of the only ones I didn't already have. Transformers Unicron, which I really wasn't going to pick up, except that I kept seeing in this one Transformer Facebook group that I'm in because I collect Transformer Animorphs toys from the 90s. So I'm like, I'm totally a Transformers collector, and I joined a group. Actual Transformers collectors of the toys were talking about how good this was. And I also got Terry Moore's Strangers in Paradise, which I've honestly never read, don't know what it's about. I got My Hero Academia. I'm actually really keen to check this out. We have Shadow Man. This is a Valiant title, and I just wanted to check it out because I didn't know who Shadow Man was. Gonna find out. We have an Overwatch comic featuring such characters like the one with pink hair, the Angry Ape Man, and Cavalry's Here, love, or whatever that one's called. I know so much about Overwatch. I'm such a serious gamer. My cousin actually has an amazing cosplay of this character. I think her name's Zarya. Not my cousin, the character. I know my cousin's name. Got the Mall from Scout Comics. This is like a noir set in a mall. I don't really know. Sounds pretty cool. I got Barrier. I'm holding it this way because that's the way it goes. This is Brian K. Vaughan's new book, book, and it was previously only available through, I can't remember what it's called, but it was a pay what you want webcomic platform. This is actually the full first issue, and there's going to be 5 issues, and they're not going to be collected in a trade paperback, and they're only going to be available through comic book stores. But I have read this and I super enjoy it. It is a very mature title though, and a lot of it's in Spanish, which I've learned. I don't remember any Spanish from high school. Good times. I got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book. This was one of the first ones on my list just because this book has been so immensely popular and I need to catch up with it because this whole shattered grid thing, everyone loves it. And then I picked up the 2 Marvel books, the Avengers one, which has Captain America as well, and then the Spider-Man one, which also says something about Infinity. I don't really know. The only offering from DC was DC Superhero Girls, which I thought I picked up, but I clearly didn't. DC had planned a book that was going to tie in with one of their events. It was either Doomsday Clock or the whole like what's happening with the Justice League and the Dark Universe, but both of those have been pushed back a bit, so they had to push that book, and DC Superhero Girls was their only book. I will mention that DC Superhero Girls sells extremely well. The other book that I got that's not here is the Miraculous book, because I have a friend who loves Miraculous. It's a very sweet TV show. I watch it with my niece sometimes. And to finish off, I have the rest of the trades that I bought. The only one that I paid more than $5 for was The Walking Dead #4, The Heart's Desire. I have the first 3, needed to buy the 4th. This was from my local comic book store, so I got a good deal on this one, but the rest were literally $5 each. Speaking of filling gaps on shelves, I managed to complete my Morning Glories series. I read the first season of Morning Glories, so I think that's the first 4 books. 4 or 5 books make up the first season, but I had books 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 8, because I've been filling them in as I can find random numbers on sale. Now I have 7, 9, and 10, thus completing the series on my shelf. So I'm going to reread the first season because it is such a crazy book, and then I'm going to finish the series, which will be such a novelty because I'm really bad at finishing series. The best description I've heard of this series is that it is like Lost, but in a high school. So it's like a boarding school and everything's real wackadoo. Picked up Superman, Trials of the Super Son. This is volume 2 of Rebirth Superman. After I catch up with Wonder Woman, definitely want to catch up with Superman in Action Comics. Picked up Superb, Life After the Fallout. This is a Lion Forge title. I don't even know if I have any other Lion Forge titles. A place called Youngstown got hit by a meteor shower, then I think resulted in people having superpowers. And it follows Kayla Tate, who has returned and reunited with her childhood friend. And she reunites with her childhood friend Jonah Watkins, a young man with Down syndrome. Picked up iZombie #3, 6 Feet Under and Rising. This one is by Chris Robertson and Michael Allred. This is the series that introduced me to Michael Allred. For that I am forever thankful because he's cool. I actually got his cover of Superman 1000 because it was really cool. Got the first volume of this sitting on my shelf, which I've read. So now I'm gonna have to find the second, but all I had was the third, so it was $5. Picked up Valiant's Quantum and Woody, which is a hilarious team. Oh my gosh. I read the first issue of the new Quantum and Woody, which is coming out now, and thought it was hilarious. Then this one is from the 2013 run, so I'm pretty excited. I picked up Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur because it looks really freaking cute. This is about Lunella Lafayette, and she's an Inhuman. And then this is her dinosaur. Let's check that out. And then I picked up the first 2 volumes of Deadly Class. This one's a bit damaged, but it was the only one they had, $5. And it is about assassins in assassin school by Rick Remender, and you can't really go wrong with Rick Remender. Oh my gosh, this has taken so long to film that my battery is about to die, so I'm just gonna wrap this up by saying that's what I bought. I know this is a lot, especially after I just did, like recently, a comic book haul, but you have to remember that was a sale that was back in January. This was in May, and I'm not gonna buy any more comic books en masse for a very long time. I'm gonna have very soon a video talking about all the comics that I have been reading, because as well as buying them, I do read them, I promise. I'm gonna go and start reading some of these comics because I freaking can't wait, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, feel free to like if you like, subscribe if you want to read more, and tell me in the comments below what comics did you buy on Free Comic Book Day? What free comic books did you get? Tell me what your favorite type of muffin is, alright? Are there any raisin muffin fans out there? I've never met somebody who gets excited about a raisin muffin. I'm gonna go because this is descending into madness, but I'll see you next time.